PDS has recently made an acquisition of New Lobster, which is obviously the Ted Baker owner of that brand, and obviously it's for 150 crores. Now, to talk more about what this acquisition means, how is the overall trend shaping up as of now, we are joined by Mr. Sanjay Jain, the Group CEO at PDS. Mr. Jain, firstly, thank you so much, and a very good afternoon to you as well for joining in with us on ET Now. I want to just ask in terms of this absolutely the new acquisition that you're talking about. What will it mean in terms of the synergies for the company? What do you see the addition coming in over there in terms of the benefits over there? How much will it actually start adding to your top line and by when?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. I think this Ted Baker step should be seen in the context that PDS has been gradually augmenting its suite of services from merely manufacturing and selling garments to design-led sourcing to handling exclusive sourcing from a given location like Bangladesh, India for retailers. Now this is a step forward in terms of complete brand management. Ted Baker on a retail front generates about $400 million of sales. So PDS is going to handle the entire back end of the Ted Baker brand in terms of designing, in terms of sourcing. So that is one stream of revenue from the Ted Baker brand. The second stream is Ted Baker is also going to have the exclusive wholesale licensing for Europe and UK as a market. That is going to be the second revenue stream. So all put together, a commission on $100 million of merchandise value for the retail sales of 400 is one stream, wholesale of about $60 million. So PDS anticipates that every year, we should be making close to about 5 to 6 billion GBP, like 50 to 60 crore rupees of net profit from this acquisition. And as a result, when we talk about 150 crore consideration being paid to acquire the working capital, we anticipate in about 2 to 3 years of payback to come. But very, very importantly, this would enable us enter into many such potential transactions wherein for complete brand management of the retailer, PDS can be a fit party to take care of that.
Also, Mr. Jain, if I want to understand in terms of the terms of, what you're highlighting in the past as well, you've spoken about to aim at a revenue of around $2.5 billion over the next 4 or 5 years. How is that going? Should we expect more additions coming in terms of new clients as well, like the similar ones that you've done right now? Would that be something, and how much of that is going to be achieved?
I think we are well on track for the $2.5 billion aspiration over 4 to 5 years. And in fact, again, going back to Ted Baker and putting in context of a long-term aspiration of $2.5 billion. Now, Ted Baker is owned by Authentic Brands Group. They handle about $25 billion of retail sales of brands that they own. Like they own Forever 21, they own, Ted Baker, they own Reebok. So now with this association, this is the one step forward. Like I said in response to your previous question, PDS believe there are more such opportunities coming up similar to Ted Baker. So therefore, in terms of our long-term goal, this is now one suite of service that got added, which means A, larger share of wallet of existing customers, and B, entering into, like Ted Baker is a new kind of avenue for us. And I think it's also interesting to mention here that, for example, Indian market, it's like a $90 to $100 billion apparel sales market, going 10 to 12%. Many of the Indian retailers have become large in size, 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion of apparel sales. Now, they have also reached a size and scale wherein they believe a party like Ted Baker can actually come forward and manage the entire backend, whether it is brand management or supply chain or sourcing. So these are some unfolding of opportunities which make us believe we are well on track for a $2.5 billion aspiration over 4 to 5 years.
Well, sir, Soumit Sarkar this side. Firstly, sir, given the fact that you have a net cash balance sheet, should we expect further such or more such acquisitions going forward from the company side?
I think PDS would carefully pursue its growth path. Keeping a balance sheet intact is very important. As you know, our return on capital employed was about 44% last year. So we want to remain asset light, and therefore any such opportunities, A, which lead to augmentation of services, and B, wherein the payback is much faster, like 2 to 3 years I mentioned in the Ted Baker. So I think we would, the answer is yes, but we would be carefully pursuing it ahead.
Sir, you generate around 77% of your revenue from UK and the European market. Could you just give us give us some details on what is the on-ground demand situation currently?
Yeah, I think that whatever tough situation one has been witnessing last few months seems to be bottoming out. I think the inventory, excess inventory situation that was there with the retailers, that seems to have now got corrected. The last few weeks, the traction of sales at the end of UK retailers, European retailer has been good. The weather has been nice. So we believe that in about few months, one should see kind of coming back of normalcy, and one should actually see the later part of this financial year coming back to good growth action in sales. So therefore, it's kind of bottoming out and should only look better from here onwards.
So, given that you're seeing some improvement in the demand scenario in one of the major regions, will you be upgrading your revenue growth guidance that you had given earlier? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Earlier, you had said that you were expecting a low single-digit growth for FY24.
Yeah, I would still go by what we mentioned earlier. I think the first 6 months will continue to be impacted by whatever happened in terms of softening of demand, inventory, etc. But I said the later 6 months are beginning to look very better. So I would say let's kind of stay course. Let's keep a watch out for next few months. But we have now beginning to become very positive and upbeat about the demand in the later part of the year.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jain, for joining in with us this afternoon and giving us an understanding on what we should be expecting from the company going forward. That was the management of PDS Limited for you all.